Righto. G'day, how you going? Only all day yesterday. Got a feeling there's going to be a repeat today. That's nearly 20 kilos of copper in that bucket. This is an awning I've got to go and fit to my mate's camper because his electric awning won't fit. There's a big box of cable and a heap of circuit boards, and God, look at me shed. Look at the mountain of copper sitting on the bench I've got to process. Went out yesterday to little town 70k from home. I do a bit, it's a men's shed. For those in other countries, that's a concept that was developed a few years ago. In Australia, the highest suicide rates are among mostly single men over the age of about 50. So a few years ago they come up with the idea of a men's shed where men could gather and do men things. And it works really well. But they also have intellectually disabled people come out to their shed and they give them things to do. A bit of woodwork, bit of basic e-waste scrapping and what have you. And I now supply them with some of the more easily scrapped things, DVD players and VCRs and what have you. And I've now got an arrangement with them where I'm actually buying all their scrap copper and such from them and reselling it, because they were having a bit of difficulty getting rid of it, and I take mine to Melbourne, which is a 400k trip each way, but I'll put theirs with mine, and I basically share the cost 50-50. I buy it for half what I get for it, so it works for them and me. But anyway, I was on my way back. Stay in the shed, guys. On my way back from Natamak yesterday, which is 70 kilometres to my east, and I got a call from a fellow who'd gone to a recycling centre in South Australia. He was clearing out a deceased estate, farm or business or something, and he had this whole pile of e-waste, and he took it to the local recycling centre, and they said, well, we can take it, but it's going to cost you $1.20 a kilo. Give this bloke a ring. So he rang and said, look mate, it's here in my trailer, I'd like you to come and get it because I can't unload it anywhere, but I need my trailer for work tomorrow. So I had to come home, unload my trailer, 150k round trip, unload the trailer, quick bite to eat, and off to Narracourt, which is where he was 65 kilometres to the west of me, so in the exact opposite direction to where I was. But it was worth it because this is what I came back with. There's 3 televisions. These ones are actually quite good to strip. That's an industrial vacuum cleaner. There's a big motor down in there. There's a mountain of cable. There's a whole lot of these things. These are downlights, but the whole back of them is all cast aluminium and the front of them stainless steel. So I'm going to do pretty well. There's probably 50 or 60 of them. And there's computers and there's microwaves. That's a 4-stroke generator sitting in there, Yamaha generator. There's these things here. These are 16 channel recorders, DVD recorders. There's some kind of security thing. The boards in these are fantastic, and there was 3 of them. That's a computer. So yeah, it turned out to be a pretty good day, but everything's wet because we've been getting hammered by storms. This thing here is part of a some sort of mapping system. It's all cast alloy and it'll have a good board in it. There's power supplies and all sorts of things in there. But yeah, we've been getting hammered by storms. I drove home through a storm yesterday that, excuse me, Judy boy, here, come on. I drove home through a storm yesterday that saw the highway cut in a couple of places by huge trees. Jet, here! Yeah, the highway was cut by trees. We had minor flooding. I had a lake in my paddock next door. My bathroom was flooded because the wind blew all the packing around one of my air conditioners out and flooded my bathroom. And so it was an interesting day. And you know, and by this I've been chased in by rain twice already, and our power's gone off once already, so I've got a feeling it's going to keep going. But you know, I just thought I'd show you that. My days sort of start out one way and finish completely differently to how you expected. I ended up picking up, oh well, by the time I strip it all, close to $500 worth of scrap yesterday. So it was a good day. I'm going to be busy for a few days. I need to get all my scrap done, all my scrap processed, because courtesy of what I've now got, hang on. Thanks to what I've now, this is all steel that'll go to the steel dump. This is all plastic that's got to go to a plastic recycler. I don't just dump that, that's got to be recycled because it's plastic. That's a 1/2 of a split system that's been degassed. The other half's in there. Tellies, there's circuit boards to strip. There's around about 20 kilos of copper sitting on the bench to be processed. There's a drum there that's almost full of wire. Next Thursday I've got to pick up, well, there's this stuff in here. This is all, well, nearly all mid-grade cable. A little bit of low grade in it, like this stuff here. This fine shit. That I'll pick out, because that gets downgraded. But all the rest of it, I get $4.20 a kilo for it, as it is. I don't have to do anything other than, well, you got to take things like that lug. You've got to cut them off the end of it and what have you, but that's all you've got to do with it. And next Thursday I've got to pick up a wool pack with about 200 kilos of it in there. So once I've got all of this processed, and like all the stuff you see in there, that's all copper. There's copper in that box, there's brass in that box, there's brass there, copper there, stainless steel there, copper aluminium radiators and iron aluminium, and there's 3 60-litre boxes here. By the time I'm done, I've got 40 kilos of extruded aluminium down there in these buckets. That's got to have all the little bolts taken out of it, and then it goes in with that. And there's that one there, and there's that one there. That's actually the second one. That's cast aluminium that's full, and now I've started filling a second box. By the time I've done everything, I'll have 2, possibly 3 boxes of that full. I'll have probably 2 boxes of that. And I've got wheelie bins sitting outside there that have got, one's full of domestic aluminium, the other one's full of bigger pieces of stainless steel. So yeah, oh, and there's also a pile of power supplies and DVDs and hard drives and what have you down there. I destroy every hard drive I get. I never allow a hard drive to go out in one piece, because it's got people's personal information on it, and I won't take the risk of that getting compromised. But yeah, so I mean, all this stuff up here, that's all for gold processing. That's all, not the batteries, but the trays of boards and what have you, that's all high grade stuff. But I'm hoping that by the time I've processed everything I've got, I'll have enough to do a profitable scrap run down to Melbourne, and it'll be my first big scrap run to Melbourne. I've never taken to Melbourne before. I've always dealt locally, but the price differences are ridiculous. So I'll be going to Melbourne with it. It's going to be a very long day, but I really hope it turns out to be worth it, and I think it will. In fact, I'm very confident that it will. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, guys. There's probably not a lot of real information for anyone here, but you know, I'm not showing how I process it. That might come later, but there's all this copper to be processed, and there's all these things to be processed, and it's processing all that stuff that makes my living. And you know, I just wanted to show people that you don't have to get gold out of things to make money from it. You know, everyone seems to be focused on the gold. Well, yeah, sure, you make money out of gold, you know, out of gold bearing stuff, but you make a lot more out of everything else. Anyway, there you go. Cheers, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.